deny that work, never could toss. Look at my eyes, I'm on the rocks, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to another randomly awkward voiceover. First off, I'm taking the Can't Stop Won't Stop NYX primer and sticking that all over my face. This is going to ensure that our drop foundation, also by NYX, stays in place throughout the entirety of this makeup look. So I'm blending that out with a beauty blender. I like doing this with a dry beauty blender only because I'm not a fan of the dewy type. And then I'm going back in with the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in Pale. I wanted this to be super light, almost ghosty, because of all the bright colors that we're putting on it. Now I'm taking a NYX eyeliner pencil, just a regular light brown one, just so I can sketch out the design that I want. I've been massively into skulls recently, so I wanted to put a skull on my face, you know? So I'm just mapping out the contours of the skull, and then I'm gonna go back in and pretty much shade in all of the details. Now taking this really cheap $5 palette that I got, I'm just using the bright pink and the purple from it. So I'm taking that on a slightly fluffy brush. This is a small fluffy brush, and sticking that first on the lids. Now I'm going in with the Black Bean Jumbo Pencil by NYX, and I'm going to be going all over the outlining of the eye shape, I guess. My goal with this was to make it look as sunken in as possible with a little bit of the color peeking through. So I'm going into the Hard Candy palette. I don't have many black eyeshadows, but I'm taking this one and going over the Black Bean pencil that we laid down. The Black Bean pencil was pretty much to make the black as deep as a black color can get. Not to mention, it helps prevent against creasing with blacks, because the face and the oils, we all know. I'm going back in with a little bit of the purpley shade just to kind of make that ombre stand out a little bit more. And I'm doing this in the deep part of the jawline and the temple area. Same concept, same technique, you know. So now I'm going into that, once again, cheap $5 palette that I got, and taking the light blue on a really tiny brush. By tiny, I mean this is like a paintbrush tiny. And I'm just going in between all of the teeth, and pretty much like I wanted this to be kind of like a rainbow type look. So first I'm laying down the light blue color, and then we are going to be deepening it a little later on. So now jumping over into the NYX Air palette, I'm taking that light green shade on a extremely fluffy brush. Yes, these are my descriptive words for brushes. A big fluffy brush, if you will, and I'm blotching that all over the end of the light blue that we placed down just to make that ombre stand out. And then I'm going back into that same palette as before and taking the next darker shade of blue and just going right back into between the teeth. I'm just deepening it, you know, one step at a time. I thought it looked pretty cool. You know, you always want to start off with the lights and then go to the darks, because if you do the opposite, then it's easier to lay down and detail than to subtract the color once you've already laid it down. So once you are done and have as much detail on this part that you want to have down, we're moving on. So I'm taking this NYX eyeliner pencil. This is a black shimmer pencil, and I'm just tightlining my waterline. I'm also using the pencil to go ahead and kind of sharpen up, crispen those, the jaw lines, if you will. The lines of the jaw. And just bringing that a little bit into the teeth. We're going to be messing with the teeth a little later, so don't worry about that right now. So next, I'm just going in with this Wet n Wild white lipstick. You can get it around Halloween time or maybe on their website. And I'm taking that again on a really, really tiny paintbrush and putting that right where the teeth are. The colors that I'm going to be putting on the teeth a little later, I want to stand out, not to mention I want this to look kind of natural, even though teeth aren't white, nor do skulls really have white teeth. You'll see. You'll just see. We're going to go back in with some eyeshadows and kind of deepen the teeth up, but I wanted to make sure that the pigment was going to have a base to lay onto. That's essentially the point of the white. I have a cat trying to come into the room right now while I'm recording the voiceover. It's kind of cute. Her paws are under the door. Aww. So once you are done laying down the white, I'm going to jump right over to the NYX Brights palette and taking both of the coral and orangey shades. I'm putting those on my forehead with just a tiny flat brush, if you will. I wanted it to be as precise as I could make it with a brush. So I'm just kind of fanning that out to where the gradient is lighter towards the top of the skull or the crown of the skull. And each part down the face, I'm taking a shade darker. The part underneath of the eye, I'm using the pink kind of faded into the red. And then at the very, very bottom of the jaw, I'm using strictly just red shadow. So it kind of fades down from orange to red. Now I'm going back into that same palette. We're going to be starting on the beauty side of the face. And I'm taking the kind of like rosy-ish pink color out of the Brights palette and on a fluffy brush, just kind of fading that on the top of the crease. I'm going in with the NYX Concealer Pot in Fair on a flat angled brush, and I am making a cut crease with this. I'm gonna go back in and put some tropical colors on the lid. Something that I have never quite done before. I wanted to go completely out of my comfort zone with this video and look. I think that we achieved that. Now going in back to the Brights palette, I'm taking that kind of lightish purpley type of pink shade thing, again on a really flat, small brush. I am deepening up that top crease. I want it to look as sharp as I can. This is a very, very slow process unless you can do cut creases really fast. I don't really know how to describe it. And then I'm also doing the same thing on the bottom. I wanted that cut crease design with the lid type angled wing thing to be open because we're going to be, like I said, putting other colors there. But I wanted to kind of make the entire eye seem full with the same colors. So here's where we're going to be adding those colors. I'm taking the lime green shade, the dark forest green shade, and that electric blue that I love so much. And I'm first laying down the lime green, and then I'm gonna fade that into the dark green. On the outer wing portion of the eye, I'm putting the blue down. So just go back over it, make sure that it all fades together really nicely. I wanted this to be flawless, so it took a little bit of time just to make sure that all of the colors blended properly together. And might I say, I really like the outcome of it. Now going back in with that dark purple shade, I took that again on the really, really tiny paintbrush, and I'm just adding a little bit of detailed depth around the skull, just where I wanted the low points to be. Kind of like, you know, where the brow bone is, or right next to the nose, right underneath of the jaw, stuff like that. Now, I didn't really film it, but I went ahead and did the wing liner. I did Wet n Wild blue winged liner on the outside where we put the blue shadow, and then I went and did an exaggerated cat eye with black liquid liner. Now I'm taking the NYX Glitter Goals in oil spill on the lips, and then here's where you can see what I do, you know, pretty much the same concept for the wing liner. I'm taking the liquid liner again and pretty much outlining all of the teeth. This will make them stand out. This will add more depth and dimension to them, and I really like cartoony type things, and this just reminded me of, you know, comic book style skull. So now is the fun part. I did all of the color with the palettes from earlier in the video, and I just took all of the bright colors and rainbowed them after stenciling it on with the brown eyeliner pencil. So I didn't really film all of that because it's the same thing, same process as the skull that we did on the face. And now I'm just going in with multiple different brushes in different sizes and applying the black body paint. To which, just like the skull on the face, I go back and put black eyeshadow over top just to mattify it. Just be careful when you're going around because you don't want to cut off any of the vertebrae or clavicle bones or rib bones or anything like that. So just take your time and be very, very careful with this, especially this part. And it did take a couple of layers because the body paint that I have is not the best. So if you are into body painting, just get a better cream paint and not the really cheap Walmart black body paint. It'll probably speed up the process. So yeah, just continue this part until you are happily satisfied with the results all over the chest. No, I did not take this to the back of the neck or on my back because I'm wearing a jacket for this. Now I'm applying the Splendor Kiss lashes. You guys have no idea how much I love these. They're super comfortable to wear. I wish that I didn't have to wear glasses every day because, ooh, my lash game would be so on par daily. But these are super comfortable lashes. I love them. I did have to cut them down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you just apply the lash on the really pretty side. Next up, we're going in with the NYX white liner and more black liquid liner. I added the white liner to the highlights of the skull, like around the optical bone and on the teeth, and then like, you know, the high points of the jaw and the tops of the bones and stuff on the chest. And then I'm just adding a lot of detail with the black liquid liner. This is really personal choice. You can add as much detail as you want, or you don't have to really add that much detail, but I thought that it made this skull look more enhanced by adding more detail. Obviously, anything does. But yeah, we can all say over the top here. And once you're done with that, we're going to be moving on. But yeah, I also added cracks in the teeth just to pretty much kind of carry on that comic book style. So I have this really cheap contouring palette that I just took the warmest shade of bronzy type color from it, and I'm just adding that on with a contour brush to the, you know, the cheekbones and on the forehead specifically. I'm focusing on those two parts of the beauty side only because there's not, like, I can't do the underneath of the jaw or anything, so I tried. But yeah, once you have that down, I'm going in with the NYX blush pot in 02 on another fluffy brush, and I'm just patting that on to the apples of my cheeks. This is one of the, you could say, difficult parts for a lot of people. You want to add it to the top of the apples of the cheeks where your highlight is. You don't want your cheekbone looking too low. And then I'm going in with the e.l.f. shimmer pot highlighter stuff on a separate fluffy brush because I didn't want to mix the colors, and I'm putting that on the high points of the beauty side face type. I say it like there's two faces. But yeah, I'm putting that, you know, on the apples of the cheeks as well, on the forehead, down by my lip, trying, and then on the chin, just to enhance those high points. Now I'm just going in and adding the flowers. I put a headband on, and then I put all these flowers underneath of that. And then I took some liquid latex and applied the little fake flowers on my face and my neck.